Hello, everyone. This is Alicia reporting live from Tampa, Florida. I am currently attending a conference, so unfortunately, I will not be joining you today for class. I do miss hearing and seeing everyone and hearing about your wonderful Qual projects that I'm sure are going great. So today I'm choosing to talk about my methods in which I'm using with my study. And just to give a reminder of my study, I'm using like a youth participatory action approach um, within the design of phenomenological study to work with immigrant and urban minority adolescent females and exploring their perceptions in regards to some self determination, self efficacy, and the role of their community, in hopes that this could be a pilot study for another study I would like to do, which explores more of these youth and adolescents and the role of the community or what they need from the community, or figuring out how best we can develop efficient and effective pipeline programs for them to enter higher education, or in this case, even going on to high school and seeing higher education as a future. So, just really using this in regards as like a stepping stone to see where I could dig a little deeper maybe later on. Anywho, um, and as we all know, working with youth can often sometimes be a challenge, maybe depending on who you are. For me, even though I have a 12-year-old at home, having a room full of them, 17 of them to be exact, it could be a little different. And if any one of you all have brothers or sisters or kids, sixth through eighth grade, you know that you could ask them a question and everything is basically a one word answer. And what they enjoy doing is being on their phone and watching TV. So sometimes that's as deep as you can get with them. So I figured instead of talking to them and interviewing them, doing an arts based method in order to for my data collection would be more useful in order to bring out some of this um, to, to dig a little deeper into the essence of what I'm trying to look at. So, to start off with, I just want to give an overview of arts based research and then go into the method in which I chose to use in my project up to this point so far. Because I'm doing a youth participatory approach, um, I'm not like we're moving through kind of like the continuum of that and the process of figuring out kind of like what's next. So, anyways, so arts based research is a form of qualitative research in the human studies that employs the premises, procedures, and principles of the arts. It is defined by the presence of aesthetic qualities or design elements within both the inquiry process and the research text. So, of course, this is different than what traditional research is probably used to, the positivist approach, quantitative approach um, to research. Um, but it still is trying to achieve the same goal in regards to using this modality to represent research data and to collect data and to dig into what we're trying to look into to the phenomenon. I'm using art as a way to find out something from this population that may have either went unnoticed or goes unnoticed, or something I may not have been able to pull out just from asking them an interview question or doing a focus group. Um, so different forms of art enable a participant to see the same phenomenon in a different way. So the purpose for arts-based research is to enhance understanding through the communication of subjective realities or personal truths that can occur only through works of art. So this led me to thinking about, okay, well, I know I want to do an arts-based method to collect my data. So what does this look like? What could I use? So prior to starting with them, I did send out like an interest survey to say, hey, what are you interested in? What have you done before? What works best for you? And a lot of them did come back with enjoying the arts visually, whether it's visual, drama, theater, um, anything like that. They named painting and other things that they enjoy doing. So I thought about using collage. Now, while collage, there's not a lot of information or research out there on collage specifically as an arts-based research method. um, I chose to speak to an expert, and she may even be in the classroom tonight. I don't know, but I did ask the expert on how could I make this work for my project, and the advice I got was to maybe use the recipe for photo voice, which has more literature and research based out there, and kind of apply it to the collage. So that was what I chose to do. So the collage is like an arts-based research approach to meaning making through a variety of pictures, artifacts, objects, words, phrases, um, and stories. It's not meant to provide a one-to-one transfer of information, and it's really meant to be metaphoric in terms of the reader, audiences, and patrons create their own meanings on a given research topic. Um, Information, well, the resources that I used for the collage, I gained them from various places. For example, I had tons and tons of magazines that I picked up from the library. So if you decide to do any type of research, arts-based research project, or use arts-based methods, go to your library first. They have all kinds of neat stuff that they're probably ready to get rid of. So I was able to gain some magazines from local libraries, but also in CCH library, I was able to go down there, and they had a lot of book covers that they were giving out for free. So I had a whole box of them, and that's what I walked out with, and that's what I used also for the collage. But I also used anything that I saw that I thought could be relevant. So as I'm walking down the street, if I saw a pamphlet, I was like, oh wow, like this could be something they use, whether it's the picture or the words or the letters or the colors. I would pick it up. I also had a wider range of like newspaper clippings I thought maybe could be useful, stickers, and anything else that I found that I thought they could use for the collage. So with the collage, it was an attempt to construct meaning about the research question or process from the participants' point of view, from their voice, and to try to find some emergent themes in regards to things that are relevant to them. Um, it says like the collage can be visual, but can also be written. So for me, I allowed them to use words, but their collage had to be majority made up of pictures. Um, and it was meant to evoke meanings in others and strive to communicate on a metaphoric rather than transactional information giving level. So I think when doing arts based methods and approaches, that's something you have to keep in mind. And maybe not everyone could be able to necessarily think outside the box in order to gain the meaning from the pictures. But it's also important, I think, when doing arts based research, to work with your participants and your community and what you're working with. And sometimes you may have to give an example. So, I had done a collage and I was able to give an example, but you have to be careful because I don't want them to copy what I was doing either, because I want them to come up with their own thing. So, like, that's one of the challenges I think that came in with this is where do you show the example versus them wanting to create on their own. So let's see, yeah, and then after they do the collage, you focus again on the fixing of the images. So where were the pictures, where were the phrases, and what does this mean? So for example, a phrase placed over an image has a different significance than the same phrase positioned to the side of that same picture. And be able to talk about these things, and even a lot of times when they say things, you still have to, it's there, but you still have to pull it out. So really having questions still made up in the back of your mind that you can pull out of them once they're going through their collages and talking about them. So that's, I guess, an overview of the method in which I use, which was like using arts-based research and collage as the method. And I enjoy doing it because this is something that I enjoy doing, and I don't know as adults the last time you've done art, but if you haven't, there's something really rejuvenating in art if you're able to see past, that one-to-one or that objective state, and not looking for that transactional transfer of information, but taking it to a deeper level, to a deeper meaning. I took an arts-based action research class in the spring, and it kind of really changed my thinking in regards to research and how we can collect data or information. And for me, wanting to work with youth, disempowered communities, individuals, and just a person who is an advocate for the arts, and believes in the power to empower through the arts, I really affirm these methods, and hopefully, through this project, I can gain a lot more knowledge, and skills in using these type of methods to gain the inquiry, and to pull out the essence of the phenomenon in which I'm seeking to explore, within my community and population that I'm studying. So, anyways, I hope. Looks like I went a minute over my 10 minutes, so I do apologize. So please enjoy class. Again, sorry I can't be there. I wish I could. And I will see everyone next week. If anyone has any questions, feel free to email me. And I do have like a one-page overview of what I talked about today. So I can send this out to everyone in an email, or I can send it and to see if it can be put up on Blackboard. So, all right. Thank you. Enjoy class. Bye. I'm going to go get a tan.